Okay, cool. So, one of the things that people really don't enjoy drawing, in particular kids really don't enjoy drawing, is hands. And that's because hands are pretty difficult things to draw. So I think most people out there, when they've been drawing characters at some point, have probably drawn a character and it's had really huge hands. And that's because you're trying to squeeze quite a lot of detail into a really small space. So your arms and your legs are fairly simple things to draw. They're these long dangly things that hang off you and they bend halfway down. There's not a lot that's going on there. Whereas your hands, there's an awful lot of detail and things that are going on in a really small space. So as soon as you try and fit those things into this really small space, that's when you end up with really massive hands, or you end up making quite a lot of mistakes. So there's a couple of simple little tips you can follow to draw better hands. Now the thing is with this isn't going to make you draw perfect hands every single time. The only thing that can do that is a lot of practice, but this will help you draw better hands, and it'll make you hopefully get a little bit less frustrated when you're drawing your hands, so you can practice a little bit more. And there's a couple of really simple things you can do. So first off, we need to make sure that the size of your hands is right. So we need to draw in some simple guidelines. Now, what we don't want is a guideline for the whole hand, because then you're going to end up in exactly the same situation as before, where you're trying to squeeze lots of detail into a really tiny little space. What we need is a guideline for this part of the hand, the palm of my hand. And the palm of my hand is kind of a square shape, okay? So, on here, that is my arm. That is the palm of my hand, okay? Now, anything else I draw now, the size of my hand is going to be right. Even if my fingers are all weird and thumbs all over the place, it doesn't really matter, because the size of my hand is going to be right, because I've got the guideline for the palm there. So this is the first step. The next thing that's really important when you're drawing hands is to know how many fingers I've got on a hand. Now, I don't have 5 fingers on my hand. I've got 4 fingers and a thumb. When it comes to drawing, your fingers are completely different to your thumb. Your fingers are these long spindly things that come out the top of your hand. Your thumb is this short little dumpy thing that comes out the bottom and the side of your hand. They're different. The same as your arm and your leg are sort of similar. Like I say, long dangly things that bend in the middle. Your fingers are similar to your thumb, but they're not the same thing. And that's really important to remember when you're drawing hands. So, the next thing we need is another guideline, and this is to show us where the thumb is and how the thumb works. Now the thumb joins onto this bit, this squishy bit. And this is the next guideline that we need. So near the wrist and the bottom of your palm, we're going to draw a circle. And that tells us where our thumb comes out. And this is it. These are all the guidelines you need to start drawing your hands. The palm lets us get the size right. This circle lets us get the thumb coming out of the bottom and the side. This line up here, we know this is where your fingers come out of. And remember, your fingers are these long spindly things. Your thumb is a short little dumpy thing. So now when you sketch in your thumb, the short little dumpy thing out the side, and your fingers only coming out of this line here, so not out of here, not out of here, your fingers just out of here, then your hands are going to end up pretty good. Again, they're not perfect, but we're drawing the lines that we want to keep. And you've got your hand. And the size of your hand is going to be right, your fingers are out of the right space, and your thumb is out of the right bit there. This sort of works with any hand that you're doing. So again, we'll draw the arm in there. Guideline for the palm. This time we're going to go for a hand that is kind of like this, sort of like a zombie hand clawing the air. This time we have the circle there, because my thumb is down the bottom. So we know the thumb is a short little dumpy thing that comes out of there. My fingers only come out of the top of the hand here. So even if these fingers are tucked behind, look, they're still only coming out of the top. And you end up with you can do some quite difficult hand shapes. But your hands are going to look pretty much the right kind of shape. We'll try another one up here. This time let's do a thumbs up, yeah? So you got your thumb up here. So you got your circle there to show where your thumb goes. You know your thumb is this short little dumpy thing that comes out there. Your fingers are all bent over, but they only come out of the top of your hand here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then draw over the guidelines you want to keep. Put the sleeve on there, and you've got your thumbs up. You can put the nails on if you want. You can add any details you want afterwards. The key is to get the shape right first of all. Now, if you want to do a fist that way around, it's the same thing. Now, just because you can't see your fingers doesn't mean they don't exist. Just because you can't see all of the palm of your hand doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So the size is exactly the same. So as you draw in your arm there, you still need the guideline to get the size of your palm right. You know your thumb is out of here, so you still need this to show me where the thumb goes. It's just this time everything's hidden, but I still know that out the top of the hand, this is where the fingers will be, and out of this lump is where the thumb will be. So then when you draw the lines in that you want to keep, you have your fist. Okay? It works with any hand you like. Like I said, it's never going to get you the perfect hand, but just these two simple guidelines are going to help you get your fingers in the right place, the size of your hand right, your thumb in the right place, and that's half of the battle. Now, one of the things to remember when you're drawing hands, and this is really important for anybody starting out drawing, is nobody gets hands right straight away. They are quite difficult things to draw. My favourite illustrator of all time is Quentin Blake. Quentin Blake, if you look at Quentin Blake's drawings of hands, they're pretty much like that. That's a hand that's waving. A hand that's holding something is like that. A hand that is picking its nose is like that. It's 5 little pointy things sticking out the end of an arm, so it's a hand. That's the only thing that really matters. It's not worth getting upset about. It's not worth stressing out about. If you need to draw hands like this, that is absolutely fine. If you want to improve your hands, start with this technique where you've got your arm, you've got your guideline for the palm of your hand, and you've got your circle to show you where your thumb goes, and then just practice, practice, practice. Most of the time, you have you've got 2 hands, yeah? So while this hand is drawing, you've got another hand that is your model. So if you want to know what a fist looks like, make a fist. If you want to know what a thumbs up looks like, make a thumbs up, and you can tell. But whatever you're drawing, whatever type of hand you're drawing the guidelines for all of the hand. So if you're making a fist, just because you can't see all of your fingers doesn't mean you shouldn't draw them in as a guideline. So my fist like that. You've got your circle over there. You still need to draw all the guideline for all of your fingers in. Okay, so your fingers out of the end there, your thumb out there. It's a little bit of a mess at the moment, but by the time you come to drawing in the lines that you want to keep, there you go. Let's go over the lines that you want to keep, and you've got your fist. But if you try to draw that without drawing in all of the guidelines, your thumb's going to be the wrong size, your fingers are going to be in the wrong place, your hands are going to end up way too big for your character. So just by following those simple little rules, you can improve your hands every single time. And then it's just a case of practicing as much as you can. Okay, so enjoy. I hope that makes drawing hands a little bit easier. I'm going to do another one of these live streams later on today because I've got a little bit of free time this afternoon. So if you do want to join me later on, go for it. I'm also going to be putting all these videos up on my YouTube channel and on the Facebook page. If anybody wants to learn to draw anything specific while everyone's on lockdown and working from home, just drop me a message and I'll put together a video for you. So hope to see you again soon. Cheers.